What is going on, guys? US88 here, or Justin, bringing you guys a brand new video here today. I have something completely different for you guys. Lately I've been coming at you guys with a lot of different types of videos, including MLB 16, Call of Duty commentaries, and also Rangers videos. But today I have something even more different. I'm going to be telling and showing you guys my complete 2016 NHL Playoff Predictions. That includes who I think will finish where in the standings in the closing days of the season, and how I think the playoffs will unfold. So without further ado, let's get into it. Since I'm from the East, New York specifically, let's start with the Eastern Conference. To start out in the Metropolitan Division, without a doubt, the Washington Capitals have not only locked up the first spot in the division, but also the top spot in the league. On to the second place in the Metro Division. Even though they didn't have a great nor good start to the season, Sidney Crosby finally found his game and stepped it up, while the Penguins are just taking down everybody that is in their way, and I think they are almost certainly going to finish holding on to the second place in the Metropolitan Division. Now the third and final spot in the Metropolitan Division, with a somewhat average season for the Rangers consisting of a lot of ups and downs, I think they will prevail over the Islanders in their pivotal matchup in the end of the season to hold on to third place in the Metropolitan Division. Now on to the first spot in the Atlantic Division. With Florida holding a 6-point lead over the Lightning with only 2 games left, the Panthers have the first spot in the Atlantic Division locked up without a doubt. On the second place in the Atlantic Division, even with Stamkos out of the lineup, they will obviously still finish in second in the Atlantic Division, and if it wasn't for the struggling team under them, I don't think they would make it very far in the playoffs anyway. But with Detroit most likely finishing under them and that being the first round matchup, they will most likely advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Now the third and final spot in the Atlantic Division, the only real challenge in finishing in third place in the Atlantic Division for the Detroit Red Wings is Boston. They do have a game in hand on the Bruins, and also easily with the most pivotal game of the season against Boston in the coming days. I think the veterans of Detroit know what they have to do to win that game and make the playoffs, and I can almost guarantee the winner of that game takes third in the division, and that is what the Red Wings are going to do. Now on to the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, with the Islanders still having the possibility to take third place in the Metropolitan Division from the Rangers with their upcoming game. I don't think the Islanders will be able to hold up their good play and win, but mathematically will undoubtedly hold on to the first wildcard spot in the East. Last but not least, the final spot in the Eastern Conference, which is the second wildcard position. The last 3 teams left fighting for a playoff position in the East are the Flyers, Red Wings, and Bruins. Like I said before, I think Detroit will hold the final spot in the Atlantic Division, which leaves the Flyers and Bruins in contention for the final wildcard spot. But with the great talent in the Flyers, they will almost certainly lock it up and coast into the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now on to my Western Conference predictions. To start out in the Central Division, the Dallas Stars, although they are currently tied with the Blues in points, I think they will go full speed ahead to end their season and lock up their division very quick. On to second place in the Central Division, with the Chicago Blackhawks playing the way they are, and Patrick Kane having the season of his career, the Blackhawks have had nothing but a chance to lock up the Central Division, but right now being 4 points behind the Blues and Stars, and their 2 games remaining being against St. Louis and Columbus, I think they're going to take advantage of their chance to jump St. Louis and take second place in the Central. And to do that, they basically just have to beat the Blues, because the Blues do not stand a chance in their final game of the season against the Washington Capitals. And with Kane playing the way that he is, it is going to happen. Now the third and final spot in the Central Division, with the Blues' final 2 games of the season being against their division rivals, the Blackhawks, and against the best team in the whole league, the Capitals, I think the Blues are going to drop both of those games while Chicago will prevail in both, leaving the Blues sleeping in third place in their division. Now on to the first spot in the Pacific Division. I think in their pivotal last game of the season against the Kings, the Ducks will prevail, and being they also hold the game in hand on the Kings, will easily breeze into controlling first place in the division to end their season. On to second place in the Pacific Division, while having a bit of slump to end the season, and the Ducks being as hot as they are right now, they do not stand a chance of dropping into second place, and having 1 more game played than the Ducks will have a huge effect on the Los Angeles Kings remaining in second place in their division, finishing the season. Now the third and final spot in the Pacific Division, although the Sharks do have quite an easy couple of games left against the Jets and Coyotes to finish up their regular season, even winning both of those games, they must rely on either the Kings or Ducks to lose both of their remaining games, and with one of the remaining games on the schedule being the Kings versus the Ducks, either Los Angeles or Anaheim does have a very good chance of losing both of their remaining games, but I just don't think that it will happen, and San Jose will remain in this last spot in the Pacific Division. Now on to the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference. The Nashville Predators have already mathematically locked up the first wildcard spot in the West, And last but not least, the final spot in the Western Conference for the playoffs, which is the second wildcard position. Kind of like the Predators, the Minnesota Wild have also been mathematically locked in the second wildcard spot in the West. Now this is my bracket for the Eastern Conference. In the first round, I believe the Washington Capitals will get past the Fighting Philadelphia Flyers, winning the series 4-2. In the second matchup, even with how hot the Penguins are right now, I just don't think they have what it takes to beat the Rangers, with New York beating the Pens repeatedly in the past years and also winning this series in 7. In the third matchup in the East, I think Tampa will breeze by the struggling Red Wings, even without Stamkos, winning the series easily 4-1. In the fourth and final first-round matchup in the East, Florida is going to ease by the Islanders, who will put up a fight as always, but still fall short in the series 4-2, and continue their streak of not getting past the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs since 1993. Now on to the second round in the East, it will be a very entertaining matchup between the Rangers and Capitals, and finally I think the Capitals will get past the Rangers in the playoffs, taking the series 4-2 and boosting them into the Eastern Conference Finals. And keep in mind, I'm a Ranger fan. Although Florida will only win the series 4-2, it will be an easy breeze with Stamkos out of the lineup and Florida playing the way they are. Lastly, the Eastern Conference Finals. It will be the President Trophy winning Washington Capitals taking on the surprisingly amazing Florida Panthers, and no matter how good the Panthers play, they will not be able to stop Ovechkin and the Caps, and will lose the series in a tough 7-game thriller 4-3, sending the Capitals to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time in a very long time. Now this is my bracket for the Western Conference. In the first round, I believe the Dallas Stars will ease their way into the next round by beating a hard-fighting Minnesota 4-2. In the second matchup, no matter how good Kane and the Hawks play, this is the year that St. Louis will finally beat the Hawks and advance to the next round in a great 7-game thriller 4-3. In the third matchup in the West, although it might come as a surprise, I think that the Nashville Predators will beat the Fighting Anaheim Ducks in the series, winning the series 4-2 in 6. In the fourth and final first-round matchup in the West, the San Jose Sharks are not going to blow it at all this year against the Los Angeles Kings, winning the series 4-3 in some amazing hockey that will be played in the 7-game series. Now on the second round of the West, it will be a very entertaining matchup between Dallas and St. Louis, but the Blues just do not have what it takes to defuse the fire inside Jamie Benn right now, and will be defeated in the series 4-2, sending the Stars to the Western Conference Final. Although San Jose is a very good team, the Predators are just better with their addition of Ryan Johansson, and will easily beat the Sharks in the series 4-1, sending them to the conference final against the Stars. Lastly, the Western Conference Finals. It will be the Dallas Stars, run by Jamie Benn, and the Nashville Predators, and all their young talent colliding in a great matchup that will leave the Dallas Stars winning the series in a thrilling 6 games, sending them to the Stanley Cup Final to face off against the league best Washington Capitals. Finally, the moment that you've been waiting for, the Stanley Cup Final between the league best Washington Capitals and the West best Dallas Stars. It honestly didn't take me long to make this decision, although I am a Rangers fan and it hurts me to say this, but Ovechkin will undoubtedly hold his first ever Stanley Cup, defeating the Dallas Stars in the series 4-1, and he will be holding it at home at the Verizon Center. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure you drop a like. Please comment what you want to see more of, if you agree or disagree with me, and if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more great content. It's been US 88 Kane. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.